The first restaurant that we're going to see once we enter the village is called La Nourrière, which translates to Mother. It's a Michelin star restaurant, 3 stars, and it's the first restaurant that we're going to see once we enter the village, all the way at the bottom. Now this elevation is beautiful. And then you got the abbey, which is the big castle. It's about 3 floors. It's a mix of different architectural styles, right? So that's because it was built on the different eras. At the bottom, the Romanesque church, that's the oldest one. And it's very humble, it's very small, it's very dark. And then the more you climb, the bigger it gets, the more opulence it gets, and the more grand it gets. And that's the Gothic style, right? And then you got a little bit of mixtures of Neo-Gothic, Flamboyant Gothic, all of that, right? What I want to talk about is the village, because for the abbey you have your audio guides. But for the village, it goes around the abbey, as you can see, and those are the exterior walls. And what we're going to see